the Real War Gamer here with Rebel Yell, playing the very first Module 1 rules and scenario, Brawner's Farm. We had some fire back and forth here, and one thing to note is right here, when these Confederates fired down this hex spine with the light woods on one side, hex side terrain like this never blocks line of sight, so they should have clear line of sight to the Union down here in the clear. And so the Union firing up here to the Confederates there missed, but the Confederates here firing down, they got a hit. They got disrupted. Now, I was wondering whether it's called unit may take an O hit in lieu of disruption by passing an organization check. That's on the combat card player aid sheet, and I was wondering if that applies in the Module 1 rules, but it does. So going to the rule book, a unit, so a D result is the unit is disrupted, which, by the way, I guess is the whole stack. Where was that? Okay, combat effects. D, a disruption. Disruption, yep. Unlike other combat results, affects every unit in the hex. So if one unit is disrupted in a stack, the whole stack is disrupted. So that would apply to... Okay, so there are 2 units in there. So how do I do the... Okay, so I have to figure out how to do this checking morale for that stack. Okay, so go back to combat results. So they have a separate section for combat results and a separate section for combat effects. That's interesting. Okay, D, a unit is disrupted. A unit may attempt to take an organization hit in lieu of, so I'm attempting to take an organization hit in lieu of the disrupted result by checking morale. Okay, and then over here it says morale. All combat units have a morale. That's given in the scenario. I think was it 6 for both sides? It is 6 for both sides. So the Union are attempting check. Roll 1 die, compare the number rolled to the unit's morale. Oh, they roll a 6. Okay. They roll a 6. If the number is less than or equal to its morale, it passes the check. Now to go back here, if they pass this check, die rolls equal to or less than their morale, there is no further effect. Oh, whoops, wrong section. Sorry. Hit in lieu of the check. If it passes this morale check, it takes the O hit and remains in good order. Okay, so that's interesting. I'm putting it together. So if they had taken the disrupted hit or disrupted result, it would have been both units. But I guess because they attempted the organization hit, I'm assuming the O hit just goes to the first unit, which well, I'll go with that for now. I'm going to go for that for now. Recording losses. Losses are recorded by using the number chits. Every time a unit suffers a no-hit, place a number counter equal to the it's taken beneath. Yeah, I was just about to say I like to put them underneath, and I'm glad that I would have done it anyways, but I'm glad that the rules say. So it's the hit marker is underneath the unit that it applies to, which means that I think the design is meant to. I think the design means for every unit to have its own O hits recorded separately, so it's not using these markers for a stack or whatever. But I guess a disrupted result would have been the whole stack. I guess that's what it sounds like. Okay. I think, okay, I'm going to have more actions. Every unit only does one action. So yeah, so this is the player 2, that's Confederate action segment. They fired. So now these guys are going to move, and then I'll pick up. Yeah, so well, we're getting close, right? We're within 1 and 2 hexes between each line. So the question is, how do we do? I mean, what happens when they come in close proximity? What's going to happen here? And the other question I have is, do units recover these O hits, and how do they do that? Okay, so I don't have any game like this. I don't even know for sure of any game like this. I want to play a game like this. I want to play a game at this scale and scope. But I am just going to be, I'll tell you right now, I feel like it, and so I'm going to do it. I'm going to be absolutely, just viciously unrelenting with this stuff. First of all, the CRT obviously misses a 3 here. Okay, there's a 3 missing, period. I guess the 3 goes there. I mean, on the CRT, on line 1, I mean, how many times am I going to be firing on line 1? A lot. All right, so the Confederates roll a 3, which is why I discovered it missing. All right, so it is a question mark. Down here, question mark, affected units must make an organization check. Yeah, organization check. All right, go to the rules. Combat results, question mark. Units must make an immediate disorganization check. I guess disorganization check is the same as organization check, which linguistically, no, don't think so. But anyways, I guess organization is disorganization. All right, so units must make an immediate disorganization check. If they pass this check, blah, blah, blah. All right, go over to combat effects, disorganization checks. When a unit, singular, must check for disorganization, the player rolls a die and compares this number to the unit's modified morale. The unit's modified morale. All right, so if the roll is equal to or less than the unit's modified morale, it passes. Then I guess nothing happens, I guess. But how do you do that for more than one unit? Again, you have 2 units plus 1 O hit. Where did I see it? Somewhere. Where is it? Disorganization check. Where was it? Now, there it is. Units in good order that failed their morale check. Why are we switching to morale check when it was a disorganization check? It's a mess. Are disrupted. Put a disorganization marker on all units in the hex. All right, that's where it is. See section 5.1 for further details. That goes to the morale section. Morale. All coming use morale to check for disorganization. Is it disorganization or morale? Roll 1 die and compare the number rolled to the unit's morale. If the number is less than or equal to blah, blah, blah. Okay, so clearly when they roll a 0, they would pass. You would imagine they would pass no matter what in any case. But it is the case. They pass. So luckily nothing happens. But the problem is, how am I supposed to roll? There's nothing clear about, am I testing the top unit for the whole stack? Am I rolling each unit separately? Or am I averaging something? Yeah. Not clear. Not clear at this level. I glanced ahead, by the way, to the next module. Didn't see anything either. I'm just pushing ahead, but there's all sorts of, and it's amazing. Just absolutely amazing. It's kind of, these rules look so nice. Clearly, because rules look nice, means absolutely nothing. Because these have holes right now that you could march a regiment through. All right, so that was just the start of player 2 small arms fire. So I'm going to do a bunch of combat down the line here. Oh, we're going to get much higher levels now because fire factors. We're going to get much higher because while the first fire was always at 2 hexes, meaning that this terminology is horrible. The strength, I guess, was halved. Now the strength is going to be quadrupled at adjacent or one hex range. All right, so these guys fired no effect. Now we're going to these guys right here. They fired adjacent, so now they fired down here again. That was the halved firepower, whatever you call it, strength, fire strength, whatever. Here, this is adjacent, so this was 8. So this is 1 strength point per unit. That's it. Just 1 strength point per infantry unit there. They're 2 stacked together. They're from the same regiment, so they can fire together, stacked together, same regiment. So you add them together, 2 quadrupled for 1 hex musket fire range, 1 hex range musket fire for 8, and then I'm going to add 1, and adding 1, subtracting 1 is lines on the CRT, lines, rows, whatever. Rows, I guess. So plus you're going down, minus you're going up. So rolling on the 10 to 11 row, and row very low. Low is always good. 2, and that is going to be a 1. So it is going to be a 1 organization check, organization hit. Okay, so this is where I start thinking again. 1 unit suffers 1 O hit. Unit must make organization check. So let's see. I guess so. That made me think, oh, it's not clear, so it's not going to help. But that, going back and forth from all these different games, which I have to admit is a big challenge, but maybe fire is not hex here, even though I was playing, I have fire against hex strongly in my mind right now, but maybe it is fire at the unit. Of course, the rules don't tell you that. Rules don't tell you, is the top unit the front unit? I don't know, but maybe they're firing at the top unit, maybe, and so the top unit takes the 1 organizational hit. So it's the unit, it's the top unit, not the whole hex that is rolling for disorganization, because you have to. Unit suffers 1 O hit. Unit must make organization check. Okay, so 7. See, so they failed. So I guess. So does it? Yeah, it's so disruption. Unit is disorganized, disrupted or routed. Huh? So basically disorganization, I don't know, disorganization may be something. I guess they mean disrupted in this case. Yeah. But see, that's just misleading because, anyways. I'm playing this way. So I'm playing this way, but it's not clear. So the 1 unit is taking the 1 O hit. The unit, which is misleading when I put this on here now, but now I'll have to remember that's just the unit there, not the hex that's disrupted. A disrupted unit, okay, let's route. Put a dis marker on all units in the hex. You see, that is not clear. So that was all, no, that put a dis marker on all units in the hex. So it's okay. One unit, presumably the top unit, takes the O hit. No problem. It's also no problem that if that unit fails its disorganization check, the whole hex is disrupted. That's fine. But that's not clear, and it's actually kind of contradictory here. And it's still, well, yeah, I'm just presuming all of this. It doesn't say any of this. It doesn't say that I'm checking only the top unit. It doesn't say only the top unit is taking the... Amazing that rules that look so nice and they look so organized and it looks like so much time was taken with them these might as well be written out on a old notepad. All right, so I'm going to go on with the rest of the Confederate fire here. Small arms fire segment. So right down the line, no effect here. These guys did get the same thing. They got a 1-0 hit and they failed their, oops, I'm putting the wrong ones on here. They failed their check. Just like the first, just like those guys. And then these ones got an O hit, but they passed their disorganization check. One thing I'm noticing here, which isn't necessarily a big problem to me, but it's pretty clear which way, I mean, it's pretty significant which way the luck breaks first. I think the luck broke first for the Confederates in this case. And then, yeah, it doesn't bother me much, but it basically is coming down to, it's pretty significant who fires first, because it's significant which way the kind of the luck breaks, which way first. I mean, these forces are very, very similar. They each force has a morale of 6. It's 10 Union companies to 9 Confederate companies, but the Confederate are in the wood line there, so yeah, it's okay. So if disrupted always affects the whole stack, then obviously that would seem to strongly suggest that you spread your forces out. But obviously if you spread your forces out, you're going to lose the ability to concentrate fire. That whole relationship seems to be pretty strong right now. All right, I thought I would walk through this one Union fire. So we moved on to the Union action segment. So this is where every unit gets to do one thing: move, rally, or shoot. Move, rally, or fire. These guys move forward into the light woods there, right there, to get adjacent to the Confederates there. And this is where I started to think, and I'm going to editorialize again here. It's just the silliest thing to call these organization hits, right? Because I was wondering, now that I have like several organization hits down the Union line, I'm thinking, okay, what's the real practical effect here? I got it that it reduces a unit's firepower, and I got it that it reduces the unit's morale. Yes, morale. Which I guess, what does that mean? That just mean, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking, okay, in these rules, that just means that they're more likely to disorganize more. But then I was thinking, if these are organizational hits, why is there no effect on movement? I mean, I would think, I don't know, I would think each organization hit would like have the, anyways, it's a moot point, because these organizational hits aren't organizational hits at all. This is pure attrition. These are just strength hits. So organization hits is completely misleading and just, yeah, I mean, this unit advanced just fine. There is no loss of organization to move forward, close the distance with the enemy. Anyways, no, these are just simple attrition, strength losses. Okay, but I'll call them O hits, just, you know, in the spirit of the rules. Okay, so let's do this, because we have our first, and we're gonna have several cases here, right? Where we have disrupted firers with O hits, trying to fire adjacent. So let's go right through here. They are adjacent here. They'll just, I guess they can fire at either of these. Does it make a difference? Oh, it does make a difference, right? They want to fire into the flank of this unit, of course. And this is significant, by the way. This is really, this I noticed the first time I read it. Units that are stacked in a hex may not fire separately. That's italicized, not. Once even one unit in a hex fires at a target, no other units in that hex may fire. So these are units of the same regiment stacked together. They might as well fire together. I mean, I can't see why they wouldn't, right? But it's not like I can have one unit fire at these guys and the other unit fire at these guys, apparently. That's what it says. So, okay, so they're going to fire these guys so that they can fire into the flank. That makes sense. You know, which I realize in the earlier Confederate. Oh, never mind. Isn't that interesting? I don't think the Confederates had an action phase before the Union units moved up there. So maybe the Confederates should have realized the Union were coming and taken that free. Oh no, they could have done a free turn in the small arms fire phase, I believe. Segment. So they should have taken that to turn one vertice. But they didn't. Okay, so we'll go through. Let's do. Okay, fire factor. That's, well, terminology is all over the place here, but fire factor is using the formula here is the range factor, which is 4. Muskets adjacent, 4 times the strength, which is 2. Yeah, 1 and 2. So that's 8. Minus 1 for organizational hit, I guess, is 7. Yeah. Okay, 7. Okay, so it's minus 1 for the woods. The Confederates. Oh, here, Confederates are in the woods. There is no penalty, I noticed, for. Oh, no, never mind. They're not up 1 level. They're on the same level. So, but minus 1 for woods. Plus 1 for flanked. So those equal out. And then there's minus 3 for being disrupted. That sounds like that's pretty significant. Yeah, it does sound like it's pretty significant. So I think it was on the 6-7 column, 1, 2, 3, down to the 3 line, not column, line. So 3 line, that is pretty significant. So disrupted, like, I think in many cases we're looking at about half to a third penalty in firepower, something like that. Oh, 2. Low number is good, so they got a 2 on the 3. Okay, it's that question mark. Okay, question mark. Affected units. See, now they're going to do an organization check when they're already disrupted. So, no, I'm looking at the unit. Sorry, no, it's the Confederate. Okay, so they have to do the organization check, which is, are there any modifiers? Unit flanked by fire, so it's minus 1. Out of command, 7 flag, leader, earthworks. Okay, so it's minus 1 for being flanked by fire. So it's 6 down to 5. Ooh, they just barely make it. Okay. All right, they just barely pass. Make sure I got that right. Yeah, okay. So they barely pass. So that's that. So then I'll go through and finish the rest of the Union line here. Okay, I want to go over this because I want to see if the Confederates can. This is the result of all of the Union actions, which were all fire actions. It's basically just this one. They took a no hit and they became disrupted. To mercilessly torment these rules, I got two things here. This is quoting. Units that are disrupted or routed are considered disorganized. Okay. Well, why confuse the matter, but okay. To continue, a unit that checks morale, sounds like a morale check, right, is making a disorganization check, regardless of whether it is in good order, not disrupted or routed, or whether it is already disorganized, Oh my, I don't even know what to say about that paragraph. That's the first paragraph in the rally and morale section. And then down here, where was it? Only the top disorganized unit in a stack may ever attempt to rally. If it succeeds in its rally attempt, all units stacked with it are restored to good order. If it fails, all those units maintain their disorganization. What? So is disorganization different than morale or not? Does it even matter? No idea. No idea. But anyways, I'm going to try. It says rally procedure. To rally, oh, I know what. Rally procedure. That's what I need to do to figure out what to do with this stack here. To rally a unit, roll a die and compare the die roll to its morale. If the roll is equal to or less than the unit's morale, okay, that's it recovers organization. If the die roll exceeds its morale, it fails to recover from disorganization. Recovering organization or failing to recover from disorganization, as opposed to disruption, I guess. Does that mean that they're recovering O hits? No idea. No idea. Now, for the rally procedure, I need to do the rally procedure here. Do these morale modifiers apply? And I ask that because it says when you do your disorganization checks, it's the modified morale, but it's under the rally procedure, it doesn't say anything like that. It just says compared to its morale. I guess, you could read that as to mean strict, it's base morale, not modified. But then, of course, especially with the rules that I've read so far, I feel like I'm reading too much into that. I guess they failed anyways, so I guess they just don't recover from disorganization. The marker says disrupted. Yeah, okay. I guess disrupted, and you flip it over, you got the routed side of the marker. So I guess this marker itself is a disorganization marker. It says disrupted on one side, routed on the other, because disruption and routed are both considered disorganization. Not good. Not good when that's disorganization and then you have organization hits. Ay, ay, ay.